So we're continue on in this amazing book by YAAKOV KRONENBERG, tremendous Kabbalist, and he says he's an astrologer, which he is. I made this chart, and I just want to go through it with you a little bit. I have nothing more to say about it, and he does. So we'll see how it comes out. Over here he says, here's the signs. The signs run from Aries, right, all the way through them, down to Pisces. These are 12 signs. Remember this number 12, he's telling us, is a mathematical concept as well. So these are the names of the tribes that are associated with these signs. So the Aries is Judah. Judah goes first. And then the Issachar is Taurus. He says that's money. And then we're going on through Zevulun and all the rest of the tribes down to Naphtali, who is Pisces. Then we come over that each one of them actually represents one of the 4 elements: fire, air, earth, air, and water. Now, anybody that's studied a little bit of astrology knows that the signs are related to these 4 as well. Let's say you're an Aquarius, you're an air sign. You're a Taurus, it's going to be an earth sign. So we're going to see how that goes, and he's laid it out for you. You can look at it. Now this is one I don't know, but they alternate 1 to all the even numbers, the odd numbers are going to be on the hot side. So they're all things that are associated with heat. On the other hand, the even numbers, which are, and incidentally, this is, the hot side would be the male side, and the cold side would be the female side. And it would constantly go through that way like this, hot, cold, hot, cold. So therefore, Aries is hot. Taurus is the mellow man. He's cold. Gemini, hot again. That's the hot sun. The highest of the solar equinox takes place in Gemini, right at the cusp anyway. And so then going back again to all of these are male and female. Now the nature of them are, this is something I don't know about, just reading it. They go in order: dry, dry, wet, wet, dry, dry, wet, wet, dry, dry, wet, wet. So how that I have no understanding of that, just to be learned. And each one of them has some permutation of the name of Hashem. These are God's letters. The name of Hashem, which is reading this one backwards, is Yud Vav K K, which is Yud K Vav K in a different order. So all of these are a little bit beyond my knowledge. And he says over there that each of the tribes, let's start over here, we're talking about Aries, which is Judah. Let's take the tribes. Judah represents Gevurah, and Issachar is Malchus. And then you could go down to the list. These ideas could be helpful in a lot of different places. Let's just look at the list and just look at this. Gevurah, Malchus, Tiferes, Chesed, Gevurah, Malchus, Tiferes, Chesed, Gevurah, Malchus, Tiferes, Chesed. Trying to understand it, what it means, and we continue on with the writing of some of the ideas that we got the last time are contained in some of the most difficult, or not difficult, but it's not that any of these the Kabbalah is difficult. It's just that if you're tuned in to the wavelength that we're searching for light in the darkness of our world, of our lives. So the last time he mentioned the beard of Adam Kadmon, the primordial man, which is really, the primordial man is a beginning of a concept called a form, which covers over the light of the Ein Sof. And it is in the form of a man. He said it's the first human being. Well, it's not a physical human being like us. We are many templates after that. The beard has 13 divisions. Let's talk about that beard because he mentioned it. And you can see, if you look at the beard very closely, the beard and what it symbolizes is an important Kabbalistic matter and is connected with astrology. There's a famous rabbi who lived about 120 years ago and was the chief, give me a second here, was the chief of the Baghdad Jewish community, which is today the capital of Iraq, and his name was Rav Yosef Chaim ben Ish Chai. So this is the famous Ben Ish Chai. And his famous book was the Ben Ish Chai, the son of a living man. So the Ben Ish Chai said that the person who is really knowledgeable and really understand all these 13 divisions in the beard of the primordial man. And again, primordial means it came first, but it means that it is the template of the templates, as we shall see. Of these 13 divisions of the beard, he can look at a person and at his beard, and from that he can know all about that person. In those days, every man had a long beard, the visions of which one could see and learn from. It's like the ancient art of palm reading, or reading the forehead. So what are 13 divisions of the beard? Well, these 13 divisions, which are the 12 signs plus the source. Now understand the first 13 divisions of the beard, he says, are actually really 12. But within him is a root. They manifest from the root. That's number 13. And this root runs from the beginning to the end. So what are these 13 divisions of the beard? These 13 divisions, which are the 12 signs plus the source, which are also called the Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, the 13 attributes of mercy. Now, in Judaism, people who practice Judaism are aware of this. This is something that we get through in Rosh Hashanah during the period of the High Holy Days, but it's actually there every day. I think that is the essential meaning of these 13 divisions of the beard, and the highest place is called Kesser. And that is where we find a concept which is called Erich, Anpin, which could mean the long face. But at any rate, it's Erich Anpin is the reality, the source of all reality. It's called, Erich Anpin is the ayin, the letter ayin, which I think I showed in a shir yesterday. But it also means nothing. And this source is only doing good. It is sending down the mercy. One could say that, in other words, this is what the description of it is in the Idras, that it's completely white, not racially white. White means that is without blemish. It is no blackness in it, no death in it, nothing, just one desire to give goodness. So can one say that the Mazel Elyon is like Keter, is the Or Makif, it's a transcendent, which is a making the surrounding light, and therefore this concealed will of God, which transcends the lower worlds of Atzilus down. Now maybe we'll take a minute and we'll look at this sentence so that it's not totally ununderstandable. It does have many more words that could be said about it. One can say that the Mazel Elyon, now the Mazel Elyon is really this number 13. Thus number 13 is the source in the beard of Erich Anpin. Here we talk about Erich Anpin because that's really what the Idris talk about. He said Adam Kadmon, could be also true, but here what we're really dealing with is this concept which is the core of reality, which is called Erich Anpin. It's like Keter, is the Or Makif, and it is a light. The concept of, there are two different types of lights, the Kabbalah say. One is the Or Makif, which is called surrounding light. He calls it transcendent. I think surrounding is better. And he says that, and there's also a light which is called the Panimi, the Or Makif and the Or Panimi. The Or Panimi is the light which makes everything live. And that's what's inside of it. It's sometimes called the Tzaddik Tzalim, and there are different ways in which we could describe it. It has a whole universe of meaning by itself. So therefore, there is another kind of light. And therefore the concealed will of God, which is the Panemius, which transcends the lower worlds, which can come down to us from the world of Atzilus downwards. In other words, we're in the Olam, the fourth Olam. And you could say we're like with the fourth Olam of the fourth Olam of the fourth Olam, and we are in a tremendously physical state for what you're talking about here, which is the light of the Ein Sof, which is, compared to us, is nothing. While the Mazel Tachton is the Or Panimi, the inner light, which is our natural Mazel, as we receive it here, coming down from Atzilus to Asiya. Now, he said there's something here that he hasn't explained, and I see that I'm getting lost in a little bit, so I'll try to explain it for myself. There's a Mazel Elyon, which is considered to be the 8th part, the number 8 section of the beard of Erich Anpin. And there's another Mazel, that's number 8. There's another one which is called 13. So the Seichel, which is the root, which is coming through those two and being delivered to us. So basically this is what? It is the will of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu. It's the will of the Ein Sof Baruch Hu, and much more beyond that, but I have no words and there's no way to understand it. Because while the Mazel Tachton is the Or Panimi, it's the inner light, which is our natural Mazel, has received it here, coming down from Atzilus to Asiya. So all of this light is continuously minimized and minimized and minimized, and hidden and hidden and hidden, until it reaches our world. It provides us with two things. One, it provides us with life, because this is the source of life right here. The other is that it gives us a doorway to reach the source of life. So let's go on. The Mazel Elyon is the macro Mazel, the will and purpose of Hashem, which transcends the lower worlds. So to reach up into the light of real, we saw in the Reb Nosson, called the Seichel. There is a Seichel, there's a mind behind everything. In other words, in Jewish astrology, now let's go back to astrology. If I want to go beyond my Mazel, that's the Mazel Tachton, as depicted in my chart, the hour, day, week, month, year, and place of birth, all of this you need to know. He apparently has something there I don't know. I need to connect to the Mazel Elyon through mitzvahs. This is how the Jewish perception is. So he says the Mazel Elyon, he's not really saying it's the Mazel Elyon is the 8th Mazel. It's called the 8th Tikkun. And which are called, this whole area on the concept of what is called the Tikkuni Zakan, the Tikkunim of the beard of Erich Anpin. The number 8th Tikkun, that's the Tikkun called the Mazel Elyon. Now Mazel in Hebrew really means the source of flow, but it also refers to the planets as we understand the word, which are the transcendent will of the Creator. So that is the Mazel Elyon. It's able to come from a tremendously panimistic place and come to us and line up my will with His will. And I do this how? By keeping the Torah and the mitzvahs. I take my natural inclinations and predispositions and mold them around the mitzvah. Study Torah and practice it, thereby transcending my Mazel through the pursuit of the Creator's purpose. Now, listen to these words. I just love it. He says, take my natural inclinations, that's yours and mine, and predispositions, those are our libidinal drives, let's see, and mold them through the mitzvahs, and then take the mitzvahs, especially the libidinal drive, especially that part. Because that part is the part that must be molded into Torah. It must be molded into the way of life of the mitzvahs. And to do that, you have to study Torah and practice the Torah, and thereby transcending my Mazel through the pursuit of the Creator's purpose. So therefore, by studying Torah is actually an interface to be able to, if you look at it in this way, and if you do it in this way, and become good at it this way by repetition, by doing it over and over and over again. Torah and practice is thereby transcending my Mazel. You can go beyond the Mazel through the pursuit of the Creator's purpose. You keep looking for the light. These are the 13 attributes of mercy, the Tikkuni Zohar, the Tikkunim of the beard of Erich Anpin, which are connected with the divisions of the beard. These are the 13 divisions of the beard. Now he's going to get into that, and we'll get into it. Wow, he's really learning some deeper Kabbalah right here from the Idris. This is Baruch Fleischman. We've been listening to this tremendous astrologer, Kabbalist, YAAKOV, KRONENBERG, who really worked hard on this.